Welcome to the Heart Aligned Brand Podcast. I'm Leanne, brand strategist, photographer, and mentor. This is a space where brand strategy and personal stories come together to help you build a brand that is rooted in your truth. Whether you're navigating a rebrand, finding your voice, or trying to stay connected to yourself through the entrepreneurial chaos, this show is for you. Around here, we believe that branding isn't just how it looks, it's how they feel and who you are becoming in the process. That remind you, you don't have to choose between being strategic and being yourself. You're the heart of your brand. Let's build from there. In today's podcast, we're going to talk about what it means to be too much in your brand. Or the other way we could think about it is, what does it look like to show up unapologetically in your business? So if you're like any other person who owns a small business, I am sure that you have thought or had these questions at some point in the process of being or building your business. And it's, how much of me can I bring into my brand? Do I even have anything special to offer? I'm just me. What about me is special? Or this fan favorite is, people don't care about me. They only care about the thing that I am selling. It's thoughts like this that keep most of us stuck in this spinning wheel system where we're attracting people that we don't want to work with, we're attracting projects that we don't enjoy, or we're making products to fit a certain demographic that we think would appease the masses. And the negative consequences the negative consequence of this is that our business isn't growing in the way that we want it to grow, or we're facing resentment or burnout. Another thing that I hear quite often is, well, the type of clients that I want to work with don't have the money to pay my prices. And this just isn't true. And I will die on that hill, period. You want to know why I know that that's not true? Because people pay for what they value. And we see this every single day. The woman who finances aesthetic treatments, or let's say the person who finances a 50K vehicle, or what about the couple who goes to the tippy top of their budget for their mortgage because it's a home that they want in the right place and space? Or maybe a family who chooses to send their kids to private school, or a gamer that invests in the latest gaming system. The list can go on, where there is a true counter proof to the fact that it doesn't matter what your economic status is, you will pay for what you value, period. You will find the money if you believe it is worth that money to you. And this is relevant to small business because it's you, the owner, that brings the value to your business. Why is this relevant to you as a small business owner? Because it's you and what you bring to the table that steers that value ship. And yet you're likely watering down the very thing that would attract your dreamboat clients to you. But I want you to know that it is not your fault. And I have been in your place, because we live in a society where no matter what you choose to do, there is someone who is going to tell you that you are doing it wrong, especially for women. Be assertive, but not too assertive, because then you're going to be a bitch. Care about your appearance, but not too much, because then you're vain. Or as Ludacris likes to say, be a lady in the street, but a freak in the sheets. If ever there were a better, and this is why, as women, we struggle so much to understand what it is that our unique gifts are, our unique flair of life is, and feeling comfortable and confident enough to bring that to the table. There is no right move as a woman that we can make that is going to exempt us from judgment or criticism. And yet we continue to try. But here's the truth. When you dare to let yourself show up unapologetically in your business, that is when the real magic happens. You, who you are, and your unique way of seeing the world is your superpower. But what does unapologetic authenticity look like when it comes to owning a business? It's the willingness to be seen, and it starts with allowing your personality to shine forward through your brand messaging, through your images, through the way that you operate your business, through the services you provide and how you provide those services. So I want to give you this frame or this example because I think when it comes to luxury, so many of us fall into this trap of thinking or identifying, boxing in what luxury means. And many service providers are aiming to offer a premium service or a premium product. So I want to stick with this luxury theme because I feel like it's going to be the easiest way to understand this point on how you can be yourself and still be luxury. Be yourself and still offer a premium service or product. So let's get into it. So the biggest thing that I see is when someone says they want luxury clients, they immediately associate luxury and premium with a specific type of person. And that is generally a professional person who uses stuffy language. And there's this assumption that that professionalism, that stuffiness, that stoic energy is what is going to attract luxury clients. And that may be true if you're looking to work with lawyers or doctors, but not everyone who seeks luxury falls into those categories. And this is the biggest mistake that we make. We assume that luxury equals seriousness. And that's just not the case. You can be luxury and whimsy. You can be luxury and playful. You can be luxury and sexy. You can be luxury and avant-garde. Luxury is created through the experience, through the quality, through the service. The way you choose to present it is yours to decide. If there's a voice inside of your head saying, "You're wrong, Leanne," then I want you to be inspired by this person who lived in their truth and was simultaneously extremely successful. One of my favorite people ever, Iris Apfel. Iris Apfel, who is described by Wikipedia as flamboyant style, outspoken personality, and oversized glasses. This woman lived in her truth. She did not shy away from color. She was maximalist to the 10th degree, and she's one of the most successful designers out there. The key is that she was true to herself. She leaned into her superpower, her love for color, her love for maximalism. And what that does is that attracts other people who also love that, who also want to be a part of it. So where do we start when we're trying to figure out what part of ourself we want to bring to the table to use as that attractor, to attract people into our ecosystem? We start by identifying our core values. Our values are the North Star. They guide the decisions that we make. They guide how we choose to show up in our business. And our values should be rooted in the truth of ourselves. So, an example that I like to give is if you are someone who really believes that playful energy is the antidote to the hardship of life, then it's likely you're going to want to bring that into your brand because you're going to want to attract other people who want that playful energy or also view playful energy as an antidote for life. Now, or let's say you're someone who has a very boisterous, sort of loud personality type. Let's think Brooklyn or Jersey energy, and you feel you can attract the right client with that energy coming to the table. This isn't true. This isn't the case. The beauty of building a brand around your values is that you're able to choose parts of yourself that you want to accentuate. This doesn't mean that every single part of you has to come to the table in business, but what it does mean is that you want to be very intentional about the parts of you that you want to live out more often, more intentionally, more unapologetically. So let's say you're who was raised in Brooklyn or New Jersey, and you've got this like sass and attitude that is just inherent with your upbringing. That is such a huge part of your personality that it would be really important for you to bring that into your brand, because if you didn't, there would be this dissonance. There would be this disconnect between how you're showing up every day and then how you're showing up in your brand and business. And it would feel disingenuous. So, how do you find these values? How do you find your unique flair for life? This is what I recommend. This was taught to me by my coach, who was taught to her by another coach. And it's this: ask 5 to 10 people. You could even ask 20 people, put it out there on the internet to describe you in 3 to 5 words. What you're going to find is there are going to be people who are going to give you some generic words that just come to the top of their mind. But what you're going to see is that there's going to be some consistency in what people are saying. You're going to find that there are synonyms of words that are kind of coming up repeatedly. And this is your clue to what you are already naturally doing and bringing to the world. This is, in essence, your personal brand, because a brand is ultimately the perception that people have of your business or you. In other terms, it's your reputation. So, what is the reputation that you want to create for your business? What is the reputation you want to create for you in your life? To bring those two together so that you have a business that is attracting the type of people that you want to work with. So here's what you're going to do. As you're locking in what your values are, or as you're locking in what makes you unique and what it is that you want to bring to your business, I want you to use this reframe. Instead of thinking of yourself as too much, I want you to think of yourself as exactly right for the right people. And as I said earlier, you are the one that gets to steer that value ship. So you are the one that gets to decide what it is that you are bringing to the table and how you want to live that out and attract those people to you. Hello, this is Future Leanne. I had to re-record the outro because I realized as I was editing that the sound quality was très bad, that you were able to find some sort of inspiration in this podcast, something that resonated, inspired you, at the minimum, reminded you that you're not alone on this journey of, and as always, take what works, leave what doesn't, and you've got this dang thing.